I love you guys.
Welcome to Torg Stories podcast. On this episode, we're talking about office setups, how we organize or fail to organize, and in the end, we discuss if we should keep going on Ted Lasso or go back to the stories we are reading. Our discussion today is sparked by Ted Lasso Season 4, Episode 3, titled Richmond's Got Talent. And I ask you to come up with some opening discussion questions. Hit me with one of them.
Okay, my opening discussion question is, how do we think the coaching trio is going to work together? We just got little hints of it today, or in this episode, rather.
Yeah.
We got desks are pushed together, which is a good sign, right?
Yeah,
like
that's right.
They're in a desk trio facing each other. They seem to have a good rapport back and forth to me.
Yep.
Which maybe is surprising. Like they didn't even, I thought maybe it would be a nice storyline you could have. And maybe they will have it. But it seemed like they just snapped right into Beard and her having pretty good chemistry. Almost, I guess, a Royish, she's a bit Royish in a way. Like,
she is, that's right.
She's blunt. She kind of sees things in her way and is a little resistant to the huggy personality of Lasso.
She's gruff and she yells at people.
Right. So she's Royish. But we only get hints of that. And her and Beard seem to be a tandem in that they, go against Ted on his, let's have Shannon be part of the team.
Right.
But she's also going to be, I think, a little overly critical of the new star of the team. So we'll see how that goes. So anyway, that was something I thought should be explored further in additional episodes, right?
Yeah, one thing I thought I saw could be coming that's not coming is just a coaching relationship that doesn't work.
Right.
Like Nate at the end of one season where he ended up leaving very disgruntled. That was a dysfunctional, jealous, Ted's getting all the credit relationship. And I'm mostly pleased. They've quickly jumped into a pretty funny rapport. I was thinking about how much of this show is those three coaches, and in the past a different set of coaches just lined up, and you're getting like a shot up at their three faces where you're getting like just below their waists up. So for example, a way that Coach Chilton is coming along is they stumble onto open tryouts. I like the idea of open tryouts. It reminded me of that Mark Wahlberg Philadelphia Eagles film, which I love, where they have it's based on a true story. It's a Disney film. Mark Wahlberg makes the Philadelphia Eagles, and he ends up making like a big, important special teams play. So it made me think of that. There's some teams like, I don't think it was there's some NBA teams that have open tryouts, and they do it. It's just a publicity stunt. But the coaches are in there, and a couple players are in there, and the training staff's in there. And, they're horrible, just like some of these guys were. But anyway, they decide on open tryouts, and Ted's like, great idea. Maybe we'll discover some mathematician. It's a Goodwill Hunting illusion. And then she says Susan Boyle. So that's like, it reminds me of the first time Roy was interested in being part of the Diamond Dogs. So she makes one of Ted's goofy illusions, and then Ted doesn't know who Susan Boyle is.
Right. And basically she says, well, I have to look up your references, so why don't you look up mine? I do know who Susan Boyle is. And I think many Americans would know Susan Boyle.
Yeah.
And I didn't even watch that show, or I don't even watch the American versions of that show, and I knew who Susan Boyle was. So, but good reference, a very English reference for sure.
I didn't know her, and Megan knew her.
Right.
And then I went and looked up, just like Ted does at the end of the episode. I went and looked up her tryout, and I like watching those. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know they're set up a little bit. I think, for example, don't you think that Simon Cowell, when someone like her walks out, and I don't know if you ever saw the tryout where the guy sang the Journey song?
No.
The guy's a janitor, and he's the male version of Susan Boyle in that you're like, "Whew, this guy looks like he doesn't belong
Right, just an
on stage."
ordinary guy. Yeah.
Yeah, even older,
Hmm.
right? So Cal probably knows, well, this person's up here because they really suck and they're like trolling me with how bad this person is, and they're gonna watch how awkward it is when we kick this person off, or they're gonna be shockingly good. I enjoy watching the people in the crowd react to someone like Susan Boyle.
Right. I wonder how many, if the producers hold that back or they tip them off, because obviously the producers see them in their tryouts to get on the show.
Yeah.
So does the producer say, "Hey, Simon, there's going to be somebody really interesting here," or do the producers just let it be a surprise, which might be a better
I have a
thing to
feeling
film?
he knows.
He probably knows more than anyone,
No,
but
they're up here for a reason, and it's my
it
job
could
to
be
flesh
one
it
or
out. I
two.
mean,
Yeah.
like another one I love is a singer named Nightbird, uh, who has made I think it's called like "It's Okay" is her song, and she's made my running playlist. And so she's a beautiful young woman with a shaved head. She has a buzz cut kind of, and he fleshes out that she's got terminal cancer. She dies within a year, and she sings a
Oh,
beautiful
that's
song
horrible. Yeah.
about it's okay. And she says something like, "I realize that you don't have to have everything in order to enjoy your life. Everything doesn't have to be perfect to enjoy your life." It's a quote I give it to start a huddle every season at some point. It's one of the quote. I actually started our basketball banquet with what she said on stage to Simon, and it's one that resonates with the players more. That maybe there's five quotes that kind of stand out, and that's one of the. I guess I would call that a genre, right, of a tryout or.
I guess. I don't know. I never watched those shows. I really
Yeah.
don't. So Susan Boyle must have broken through um,
Yeah.
to be more than that for
We
me to know
stopped.
her.
We've probably watched, I don't know
Because I
how many
remember you guys being into it. Yeah.
how many seasons of what was his first show? The
I don't know.
show
Yeah.
American.
American Idol is a
Yeah.
show, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
American, I mean, that's still going, right?
Is that his first show, or didn't he have
I
one in UK?
right. I feel like American Idol's had at least 20 seasons. The
Right.
Torg
Never have watched American Idol in my life, but know of some American Idol
and the
winners.
Torgersons have probably watched 3 seasons of it total.
Hmm.
And we liked Simon was really good on it. Paula Abdul was annoying. Katy Perry was really good on it, even though I realize she's somewhat not enjoyed out in life.
I got no real opinions.
I
She
mean, she
seems
went to
fine. Yeah.
space. Didn't she go to outer
She went to
space?
space. I got no problems
Yeah,
with
there's nothing
her.
wrong
I
with
like
that.
some of her songs back in the day from her big hit albums. They were fun, but I'm not like a stan.
Okay. And I like that you bring up Stan. You
Just
bring
got
up,
my text to check into the Venetian.
oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. When's that? When are you leaving this?
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'll leave tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Oh, no,
One night
Anne.
only.
And I don't think your present's going to make it. I guess you'll get back and find your present.
Yeah,
It's
my birthday's
small.
not until Thursday.
No, I mailed it. I think I mailed it yesterday.
Yeah, it's not going to get there
It'll
by
take 3 days.
Wednesday, probably. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, we're good. We'll see
You're
what you.
fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Good.
there is one problem with your present.
It's going to melt or.
It would have been better if it arrived before you went to Vegas.
Oh, it's some like
It'll
Vegas
work.
thing. Yeah,
It'll
okay.
work out though. It's no big.
Yeah, I'll go to Vegas again.
And that's right. I'm gonna have to when you start answering this question, I'm gonna listen. But we have the longest English department meetings in the history of meetings. I realize some of you have challenges, but I worked on my answer to this question during the English department meeting.
Oh,
I got almost an hour out of this in the English department meeting, and I wrote it on paper and I glanced up. I don't know if Leo listens, head of the English department. Leo, stepping down. I'm sad to see him go.
oh,
But I was sitting, there were 112 people in our department. I
oh, that's a
was,
lot.
yeah, I was sitting about 10
I've never been in a
feet.
meeting with 112 people. Yeah.
I was sitting about front and center, 10 feet from him. Um, and I would glance up at him and smile and nod, and then I would write in my notebook. And he probably thought, wow,
You probably thought Bill's taking notes on this.
yeah.
That's
Even
pretty
though
impressive.
I think he would be okay with me multitasking during our meeting.
Right. I think
Okay,
everybody
and
does. Yeah.
so Keely's office stood out to me, and Keely's fashion. Side note, one of the things Megan really gets out of Ted Lasso is she's like paying attention to everyone's cars. She's looking up Rebecca's green pants and seeing if she can find them online. She loves Keely's outfits, although I don't think she would wear much of what Keely wears. And then Keely has, I guess, what I would call a very pink with some leopard print in there. There's diamonds, there's sparkly stuff, there's pink couches. I mean, I guess I'll let you talk about first Keely's office, and then my question, I have two follow-up questions, is sort of like, what's your office setup like?
Ugh.
And then secondarily, if you had a blank slate and money wasn't an issue, what would your office setup be? So let's just start with your impressions of Keely's office. I know that was too many questions.
Actually, first, what I would say is the first time I watched this episode, I watched it before you send your questions, and I didn't even notice her office. That's me watching
Yeah,
the
right.
episode. I didn't even notice. So the second time I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh, really does have." And Roy even makes a comment about her office. It wasn't outrageous though. It was
No,
it was
no,
it was
it
more
makes
a subtle
sense.
pink. Yeah, when you said pink, I was like, wow, was it like a neon pink or what? But it was more like a subtle pink. It wouldn't be an office I would choose. Pink is not my favorite color.
Right.
What's my office like now? My office right now really sucks actually because uh, there's a trend of when I first moved to this office or when I first got this job, it was old school. So it was like cubicles,
Yep.
which are ugly and
That's
unattractive
actually
because
what I pictured. I pictured you in a cubicle.
they were old. I mean, if you got a cubicle today, a really nice one, it would look good. But it was an old cubicle and it was ugly, but it was nice because you had some privacy in there, and
Right.
I had a lot of room too, even though it was just a cubicle. Um, and then we remodeled, and so now it's an open work office basically with very few offices, and it's bench seating. Bench seating is the cheapest kind of seating you can have.
You're sitting on a literal bench?
No, but when they say bench seating, they mean strips of a desk, uh, and that's the bench. If you think of the
Oh,
desk as a
okay.
bench,
Yep.
and then it's divided into three monitors on each side. So there's a monitor here, a monitor across from you, facing the other way, right?
You're
You understand?
sitting next to people you work with in an open setting.
Yeah, we do have less people, so every other seat. So the seat next to me is empty, but the seat across from me is also empty, but it could be filled. And if it was filled, somebody would be facing me. And
Yeah.
there's no divider. The divider are freestanding monitors. I have two monitors in front of me. So it's bench seating. And I sit in a nice office chair, but there's somebody sitting right behind me facing the other way. There's somebody two seats away from me. It's open seating. Anybody can see.
Woo.
And I'm right on the aisle. Anybody can see what I'm doing. There's a couple of great seats in the office in the corner. It's like, man, I would love to be sitting back there. Nobody has a clue what you're doing.
And there's
Um,
people in those seats.
there are people in those seats, yes, and there's some jealousy there.
Yeah.
But
Any
I don't like.
decorations?
No, you can't really
Like
decorate.
you don't have a picture of anything there.
No, I have like a cactus sitting next to me.
You picked it
But no,
out?
no pictures. No, someone gave it to me.
Yeah.
I would never picked it out because it has glasses on the
Right.
pottery, and it's like I would never pick that out. But it's cute. Whatever. Have a little cactus.
Mm.
People don't. There might be some people that have pictures, but I don't see a lot of pictures around. But yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, it's very. I don't like it. I wish I had a cubicle. My previous job before that, I had a humongous office with a conference table in it. It was ridiculous. It was overkill, but it was nice.
Yeah.
So I do like that privacy. But right now, yeah, it's not much. You
The
have
first
an
thing,
office, right?
yeah, the first thing you make me think of that I didn't like, but it actually was very good, was I taught at Vance High School in Charlotte. It's now Chambers, so that's 20 years ago. There weren't enough classrooms that every teacher could have their own classroom. And so if someone wasn't teaching in a room, someone else was teaching in the room. So my first year there, I had to carry all my crap around
Mhm.
to different rooms. I was in a different room every period of the day, which I hated. But we had cubicles in workrooms. But what was great about it is we honestly did collaborate a lot more because of that.
Right, that's the point,
Yeah.
collaboration. And these and in my work, I don't really collaborate too much with people, but the designers, the project managers, job captains actually do. And there's large tables set up that you stand on and you put drawings on and you look on them and finishes. There's carpets. We had cleaning day on Wednesday. What hell? I had to go up and down those stairs 42 times carrying
Uh,
carpets to throw away. Carpet samples, just
yeah.
piles of carpet samples to send back because they try to recycle those. So Wednesday was cleaning day. We did get some pizza, but I was sweating. I was like, I forgot it was cleaning day. I would have worn something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Cleaning
was
day,
rough.
how often is that?
Very, like twice a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have three offices.
Oh, well,
I know.
yeah.
Well, I'll say more about that. So my home office, which you see in front of you,
Right. It's very
um,
Ted Lasso
I
centric.
know it's borderline. If you look, there's three Ted Lasso illusions, if
I see
artifacts.
two. What's the third?
The third, there's a little Ted
Oh, I
down
see.
there.
The Ted Lasso above, believe.
Yeah, below. Oh, there's four then. Below, I
Oh,
believe, is another little Ted Lasso. That's Ted down there.
oh, those
So,
little Funko Pops are
so
Ted?
what happens to you partially? Like, I think Megan briefly worked for Nine West, and like she might have bought one cute little shoe thing one time, which doesn't fit her anymore. And then once she got known for like, oh, Megan likes cute little shoes, people bought her a bunch of shoe stuff. So I do think I'm now a little over the top.
Yeah, you
Uh,
don't need any more. It's
like I
like
think
when
the
old
little,
people like little figurines or something, and suddenly they got,
yeah.
mom has 100 snowmen. Well, she didn't look snowman that much. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought the believe sign and I bought the cutout, but the other two things I think were gifts, and then it sort of takes off on you. And then I got a believe shirt, which sometimes I wear on the pod. So, but anyway, I think what's this style? Maybe I'll quickly go through my offices and then I'll circle back to if you had a blank slate, how would you go about figuring out how to do it? So I have this office, which pretty much I can do. I can do what I want with this. I have a new office at App State. It's on the fifth floor. It looks out over the home center, which is the basketball arena. It's a pretty view. I used to be lower and the desks were such that you couldn't rearrange the office. So I had to face the wall, even though I had a beautiful view of the
Stupid.
central lawn. But so now I like this better. We're taking a quick break from the episode so I can tell you about my novel, Love on the Big Screen. It tells the story of a college freshman whose understanding of love has been shaped by late 80s romantic comedies such as 16 Candles and Say Anything. The second edition is available on Amazon as a Kindle book for only 99 cents. You can get the paperback for $9.99. You can go to thetorg.com. You can link to the book on Amazon. You also can put your email in as a subscriber, and you can find all of our old podcast episodes. A couple other things we'd love for you to like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this podcast, maybe at some place like Spotify. If you're feeling super generous, write us a podcast review on Apple Podcasts or write a review of my novel, Love on the Big Screen, on Amazon. Thank you so much. Back to the episode. So now I don't even know what to do with my office at school. I guess it's closest to like a library feel because there's a million books and bookshelves. And then I was saying to Meg, like, I have a Chris Stapleton.
This
I don't know
is
what you would call it. Bless you, Anne. I have a Chris Stapleton. So I guess it's a thing. I don't know if it's a new thing, but Noah Kahn and Chris Stapleton, they had original prints made specifically for the concert you go to, right?
Yeah, I think lots of bands do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember that being a thing in late
Yeah, it might be more of a
1980s.
thing. Yeah.
But so we have a print I really like of Noah Kahn. We have a print I really like of Chris Stapleton, but like, should I start buying two of those? Should I
I'd like
just
a Bad Bunny print. Could you get me? Well, I guess you got that poster
no,
already.
right? That's not as good as a print though.
Yeah.
Um, should I buy two and just decorate the offices the same?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so I'm lost in my office at App State, and then I have an office at Watauga High School, which is a small concrete room that has no windows, and all the furniture is most of the furniture is found furniture. Like no one at Watauga is using this desk, so they let me roll it into here, and this metal, so it's okay. So I didn't get into decorating style. I might do that a little bit more. And how would you even begin if somebody said, "Please don't go over $50,000. This
I
room is
wouldn't do
yours.
enough. Yeah.
This room is yours. What are you doing? How do you even get started on that?"
First off, I'd like to have some references. So,
That's right.
in
I agree.
as maybe people don't realize, I work for a firm, and all they do is make corporate offices,
Yeah.
interiors of corporate offices. Now, I'm hardly ever on site. Occasionally, someone will be like, "Come out, see this place," right? So,
Yep.
I have three references in my mind of offices I've really liked.
Mm.
One, I traveled to San Francisco once because we do flight work in San Francisco, and we went to a property company who owns billions of buildings, not billions, but owns lots of buildings across the United States. And I went to their head office, their headquarters in San Francisco. Most beautiful headquarters I thought I've ever
Mm.
been to. Um, Very classic, which is strange for a corporate office. Like they had almost like French lighting fixtures and stuff, and I just loved it. It had a blue and gray slate kind of feel to it, color, and so I'd steal that color from them. Is what I'm
So
saying.
is the desk wood? Is it
I don't remember what the desk looked like.
fiberglass? Is it
I'm just
glass?
talking about like the lighting fixtures and the walls
So the
color,
color palette of blue slate.
blue and slate and gray, kind of
Is
a deep
slate
blue.
is slate like
Slate is like
gunmetal?
a blue gray that
Mm.
you see a lot of slate slabs on the ground outside.
Yep.
Slate. Yeah, kind of not a gunmetal, more of a blue than that.
Yeah.
So a really deep gray blue is what I would say. So I love that. I love that office. My second reference is one time I went to North Hollywood to a thing we built. I went to a punch walk to a company and write notes, and they had a greatest window that looked at the mountains of Hollywood Hills, basically the back of Hollywood Hills, was North Hollywood looking south, or looking south over LA. And I was like, what a great view. I would love to sit here and look at this view. And the third thing is, this is a confidential project, but I feel like the project is done now. So why would it be confidential? So I think I can speak on it. The airport owns two buildings by the airport authority, and we redid the entire building. And I went on a tour of it. And up in the top floors, they had this great break room that looked over, and you could see planes flying in and stuff. And I
Yeah.
was like, what a great view that would be too. So my number one thing is, please give me a window with some kind of great view, whether it be the city, flying planes, mountains, an ocean. There's some even here that'll look, Santa Monica, you can look out on the ocean. A view would be awesome. Right now, uh, it's hard to see out of our windows. I do have windows surrounding me, so it's not like I don't have anything, but it's like the neighboring building is the view. So I'd like a view. I would like just a desk with some desk space, because right now it's like my desk space is filled with my computer, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I can't I have to like move my keyboard to like put up some paper down and write on it, which I get that people don't handwrite it anymore, but I do still.
Yeah.
So those are the things that would be key to me, and some privacy.
I like I think going back even when I was in my 20s, I'm 55 now. I used to think one of the ideal places to live, this is not related to offices, was I wanted to go out onto a balcony and look down where stuff is happening.
Right.
So I imagined, like, I don't know what am I
A
imagining?
penthouse or
New
something. And
Orleans
yeah,
or Paris or
New York City. Yeah.
some kind of city where you're like, oh, there's always something to watch going on down there. And now that takes me to priority number one in my office, which is I want to look out the window.
Yeah.
I
We
want to
have the
be
same
able
priority.
I
Yeah.
want to be able to turn my head slightly in one direction or the other and look out the window. And I have that in two of my three offices. So I like that. Okay, so a couple. Where did I put this? Where are my questions, Ann? I'll start here. In my office, I am far more often doing what you and I are doing than meeting with people in my office.
You mean
So
you're on Zoom calls?
I'm on a Zoom. I'm in a Zoom meeting. I'm making a student a 2-minute video to show them how to set up their digital portfolio. I'm recording the podcast. So it's hard to look out the window and set up your background.
Oh, I see. Your background's rough. Yeah.
And today's better because it's
You don't have many fake backgrounds or what?
I don't like fake backgrounds at all. And Megan and I were talking about this morning. You're okay with fake backgrounds?
My firm marketing has created like 4 or 5 fake backgrounds, and they look pretty good. I mean, you don't have to use them, but many
What's
people
back
do.
there?
Some of it's like our office, our actual office is
Yeah.
behind us. Some of it is offices we've done.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
I'm
it's like
just
you're kind of in an office setting, I guess, still. Yeah.
I'm 90% out on those. I just think it looks stupid when Michael Wilbon's on PTI and it looks like he's on a golf course in Phoenix. I just think that's dumb.
Right. I don't think our backgrounds aren't like that. It's not like, oh, someone's surfing in the background. It's like an office.
And
Yeah.
it's like you're on the trading room floor at the stock market. That looks dumb.
Right. Again, those are not unrealistic
And I'm
backgrounds. Yeah.
not I know I'm judging you, not you who are listening who do that. I'm just out on those and I'm open to people liking them. I'll give you an example from the show, which we'll talk more about later. I thought it was stupid that Phoebe and her little girlfriends in middle school made the soccer uniforms for Richmond, but Megan giggled with glee
Yeah, you're
and
so anti. Your reaction is a little over the top, I think. Yeah.
and Megan laughed when the sort of rugged lesbian buzz-cutted goalie had on her frilly pink outfit. Megan loved it. So when I see that and watch Megan's reaction, I'm like, I'm wrong. This is a good part of the show for some people.
Yeah, you have to realize some things work for some people and some things aren't for me, right? Some things aren't for me. That's something
And
that
if
people say a lot.
if you want your background to look like you're on Dagobah with Yoda, maybe
Right.
that's entertaining.
Yeah,
I will say that's kind of funny.
it is kind of funny. Again, I'd reiterate my workplace, it's more like just better work backgrounds because people are going to be moving around in our open work office. So you really can't have a static background where we work. Of course, there are things like telephone rooms. I don't think we don't have any telephone rooms, but we design a lot of offices with telephone rooms or a phone booth is what they call it.
Mm.
And it's a small rectangle space that someone sits in, kind of like a phone booth, bigger than a phone booth, just to make calls because people work in open workspace. Because I do get annoyed at hearing other people's calls.
Yeah, I bet. We were saying it's almost like Megan and I were. I usually hit Megan with my podcast questions at our morning coffee, which we
Oh,
have
nice.
most days, and kind of talk things out. We were saying it's almost like I need a spot where I'm doing my tutorials and doing a Zoom call. Oh, I have Zoom office hours too. And this, but then you're just like, now I need 2 computers, blah, 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 blah. Could I? Megan was saying, and this goes with what you were saying, she would definitely surround me with places to sit stuff. I mean, I have a router here, I have a podcast mixer, I have headphones, I have an enormous printer, I have external drives. Like you, I'm always jotting down notes, so I need space.
Right. And that's one reason why we have to have an office cleanup day because people just stack up crap everywhere, like stacks of carpet, stacks of tile, drawings, just, because they just don't get rid of things. So yeah, it gets very, very cluttered.
So I was thinking, first of all, I can't really answer my own question. I've also I've never had a situation where I had some extra money to spend on an offense. Like everything's always been like, whew, this is quite a bit to pay for this desk, but it's IKEA and it's only this much and it'll work and it's big, like the one I'm sitting at now. I've never been able to like I have money and I'm going to spend it on this office and make it like I want.
I will say, like the office that they visit of is it
Yeah.
Finster and Sons? What is it? Finster?
Pinter.
Pinter and Sons. I would not like that office, that old school English feel. I don't like that. I'm not really a person like, oh, I love modern design,
I do.
but I like a modern looking office. You know, I
We,
like a sleek looking desk. I don't want some old English
yeah.
millwork, you know.
We, Keely had an office when she had her PR startup that was funded by that girl that she dated for a time. I loved that office, mostly
Right, but that
because
was a big open work area.
yeah, big. Well, it had a.
It was good for Keeley because she was in her office, but everybody else is sitting outside
That's
in the
true.
open
I didn't
work
like
area.
that. I liked her office,
Yeah,
and I liked her huge window. Right.
right. Yeah.
We have a house. We have a house that we love. We would love to move into. That I
You
think
got to sell your house, don't
I'll have to
you?
send you a link. It just doesn't look like we're going to be able to sell our house for as much as we would need. If we got asking price for our house, we could afford this other house that we love, but I don't still think it's going to happen. But
Right.
it has a rolling meadow view with the mountains in the distance. It's got huge glass windows, tons of light. We love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. It sounds
Right.
like it might be a little bit of the style that you like. I'll send you a link, but we don't think the pictures are very good. Those realtors in their pictures, Ann, they fluctuate.
Yeah, you maybe shouldn't even look until you can look. And of course, if you'd like to see some modern offices, you could go to the SAAIA.com
Hmm.
and see some wonderful modern offices that
You
we've
should
done.
send me a picture or two of your favorites
Of my favorite offices from our website. Okay,
because
I'll do that.
I think I might take a picture of this office, at least of my App State office, and include that. Boy, we went so long on offices, Ann.
I know it's like we haven't talked about
Do you
this
have any more?
episode.
We did work in some Ted Lasso. I mean, the goal is you don't have to watch Ted Lasso to enjoy this. Tell us about your offices, everyone. We would love to hear it. Do you have another discussion question for me?
The other ones were just my responses to your discussion questions.
Okay.
So the second one, let me open. I keep looking at other things. I guess my big points, right? So Rebecca fails to show up for a date with her boyfriend 3 times
Yeah.
that they make at the restaurant. And you're asking me what's my system for remembering. First of all, I'd just like to speak on Ted Lasso. 3 times is too many, Rebecca. The third one actually was your best excuse when Keely came in and crying. That one's a good excuse to me. The first one, you slept. I don't think of you as like an overworker. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's not like slaving away at the office. Give me a break. And so you fell asleep at bed. That's something I would never do. So that one I blame on her, and I would be mad about it. What was the second one? I also would be mad about. You went across town to see Pinter and Sons, which I get. You have to do it. All you have to do is on that long ride to Canary Wharf, I think it was, which probably isn't on the other side of town in London, probably taking an hour. I don't know. On that ride, you could text your boyfriend and say, "Hey, I'm not going to make it." I don't think you have to not show up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
just give me a heads up you're not going to show up. So, to me, really bad, Rebecca. And you're lucky that this is a sitcom and we can get away with these things,
Yep.
or that her boyfriend's overly accommodating, which maybe he is because she's a billionaire or a millionaire, and whatever.
So
But I'd be mad, is what I'm saying.
one, the writers have earned my trust. Like they do things for a good reason. But at the moment, I don't see where this is going. At the moment, it feels like you don't know what to do with Matisse, the boyfriend, and you're doing this thing. I mean, maybe he's headed out. Is he on his way out? That's one of my questions.
I don't know. It's hard to have a relationship when he lives in Denmark and she lives in England.
Where's his kid?
Right? Does he live in Denmark? Is that right? Or
Amsterdam.
Yeah. Is Amsterdam Denmark?
She fell in the water. Remember that?
The Netherlands. The Netherlands.
Oh, the
He's from
Netherlands one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello. I just
Yeah.
need to say I know
It
that.
happens. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So is he on his way out, or are they going to do something interesting with this? Always
I think
forgetting.
I don't think they'll do anything interesting, but I don't think he's on his way out. I think they'll have this long distance
I mean, right now they
relationship.
have this hyper sexualized. We always can't
Weekend
wait.
appearance, yeah.
Our main way we're together is we give
Short terms,
we
yeah.
say sexual innuendo, and we get our noses close together and stare into each other's eyes and say sexy things, and it's just like, what's happening? Like,
Right, yeah.
why can't she say, my driver is taking me to this meeting, you want to ride across town, let's get dinner over there afterward?
Yeah. It's gonna be, I'm not gonna make it.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't she ever swing by their apartment and grab him on the way to dinner? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'll see you. And it is kind of like, I don't know. I would now. I'm not meeting Megan for lunch at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we
Well,
have
he's
super.
visiting though
And
from
we, yeah, he's visiting. That's true.
yeah.
That's right.
To me though, it's like if you make me go to a restaurant and you just don't show up and I end up talking to you an hour or two later, that's unacceptable. Right? That's unacceptable unless you had a brain bleed or something. That's unacceptable.
Sure, you can
You need to
space.
tell me
It's okay.
immediately.
You can space something. Um,
I would never space that though. I would never space
mm,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could
That's one
space.
of your questions. How do I track things? I have a calendar and the calendar tells me when things happen. And maybe so few things happen in my life that it's a big, I
So
know it's happening.
tell me about your calendar then. What's the platform, or is it paper, or what?
Well, first of all, at work, of course, I have a work calendar. And I can access that on my phone as well.
This is Microsoft product. What is it?
It's my calendar is on Outlook,
Yep.
but my calendar on my phone for work is on Teams. I can look on Teams, which is
Yep.
a chat kind of sharing network. So we have the calls and stuff on Teams rather than Zoom, right?
Yep.
And it has my calendar. And then I have on my iPhone, I have a calendar like everyone else. And I only have my personal calendar. I don't mix my personal calendar and my work calendar together.
Mm-hmm.
And I put things on there. Oh, I bought tickets for a movie on Saturday. It's on there and I get reminders and I'm never going to forget.
You punch that in there.
I punch that in there. The default reminder is on and
So
I often change the reminders. Yeah.
you've got paper spread around you have to move your keyboard to write on paper. What's happening there?
Those are like notes for work, like do this, do that, remember this number, follow up on this. Because a lot of times people will chat, chat
Yeah.
on Teams, you can chat. And sometimes I find it really great, but sometimes people chat me stuff to do. And it's like, once I read that and I'm never going to look at that chat again, I'm going to forget. So I have to write that down. Maybe other people can remember to
No,
look at the chat. But yeah. And sometimes I get mad. I'm like, okay, just email me that and I'll do it. Right.
people are, I think, get annoyed with me. It's hard for me. The people I'm thinking of listen to the podcast. Sorry, guys. So I'm not going to give you an example. But if there's something you want me to do with the basketball team, et cetera, or for your kid, or the kid wants me to do something for them, or the student, don't text me. I'm in my truck and I'm going somewhere and your text comes in and I say, okay, I'm never going to remember that. Email me things you want me to do.
Right. People tell me to do things on chat. And if it's something I can do immediately, well, then it's no big deal. But if it's not, it's like often I'll be like, okay, please just email me that as a reminder because I'm going to forget.
But the world doesn't really want to email me. The world wants to text me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple things I do here, and it's messy, and I don't know. This is more like, what advice do you have for us listeners? Not, or Anne, not, this is good. So I used to use something I call a day book. It's just
Like a planner.
a planner, but it's blank. It's just blank pages, like if I was going to keep a diary, but
Many people I work with have a little book like that and they just
yeah.
continuously write
So I
things.
abandoned the book, even though I'm currently looking at the book. I guess I did abandon the book. The book has stayed with me, but gets used less. So I have an 8x11 iPad that I bought purposefully to use as a notebook, and I bought it so that I could read PDFs on it normally, and I bought it so I could read books because I can't see. So I have the Notability app and I write things down. And it's just like a piece of paper, but I'm able to erase. And so I'm not always going on to a new piece of paper. But that's hard because sometimes I don't want an iPad in my pocket. It obviously doesn't even fit. So I'm still trending toward doing a lot of writing on scraps of paper that are stuffed into my pockets that I sometimes lose.
Yeah, but you always have your phone. Can't you just have the Notability app on your phone?
Yep. I do put Apple alerts in my phone. So if I have a dentist appointment or a meeting or I have the mortgage payment in there. So there's stuff like that in my Apple phone, which is really the only calendar I've been able to use that sends me a message on my phone that tells me to do something. That's the main way I wouldn't forget my date with Rebecca if I had a date with Rebecca.
Right, exactly. Like I have a recurring thing. You have mortgage. I have a recurring thing that says rent, pay rent. Even though
So
I've never forgotten, it's still a nice backup.
we have a shared gym calendar Google Doc that I'm supposed to, when I have a practice or an event, I'm supposed to put it on there.
Hmm.
Me, the volleyball coach, the men's basketball coach, the athletic director, and one person who's in charge of facilities. All of us have other calendars that we actually keep. We always have to remember to go to this other calendar and add it to that other calendar.
Right, because they want you to use Google rather than Apple.
I have an app state English department, Google Calendar. I have a Google Sheets calendar shared with my parents and players. So I find myself often having to add things to three calendars. And I
Right.
want to put on the calendar that has all of our basketball stuff, I want to put Charlotte has a home game on this Tuesday. Don't schedule something then because I'd like to try to make that game at night if I can. But no one else wants to see that. Am I going to put Charlotte's games on the shared calendar for the team? So I just have,
You have too many calendars.
and I don't think I can fix it. And then the last thing, which I think you do a little of, but you get rid of them quicker than me, even though I've read I shouldn't do this. I have some unopened emails that signal something I need to do at some point. Like I sort of have the job that I register the women's basketball staff and the men's basketball staff with the national or the North Carolina Coaches Association. I do all of our registrations. That's just one little thing I do. And so that mail sits unopened in my inbox to remind me that I need to do it. Sorry, Coach Payne. And I actually can't do this until Coach Payne's get me his information, his names and numbers. So stuff like that. So that's like a massive organization to me.
Right. Even though I said I write down tasks, those are like tasks I can do right away. For me, I get an email. I like to open it and read it. I don't like unopened emails. I get where you're going,
No, I open
coming
it and then
from.
I mark it as unread.
Right. I get it. I do that occasionally, but usually I'll read it. If I can't do it right away and it's something I have to do, I'll just save the email in my inbox. I try to keep my inbox as slim as possible. So in times when I have not much to do, I'll look through all those emails and be like, oh, I should follow up on this. I should do that.
Hmm.
And then once I do it, I delete it and get it out of there. So that's my process, but it's similar of having an unread email. I just don't like things that say one, two, three. You have five of these, you have six of these. No, I want to clear that out and have it be zero. And I'm like that on my apps on my phone. I hate when it has a little red one on there. I have to open it and clear it out, even if it's like a promotion in Uber Eats or something. It's like clear it out.
You know, another thing that happens to me is game time changes for basketball. So that's like put it out on Twitter, put it out on Facebook, change it on my Google Sheets. There's a website called Max Preps that has every high school schedule in the United States. Go there and change it. So it's just like Huddle. Huddle is we put our video and
Hmm.
we subscribe to something that does our stats. So it's just like when one thing happens, it's like I have to go to six places and change it.
Right. Yeah. I don't
And I'm
know that
often
there's a
doing
solve for
that
that, but you just know where you have to go and you just have to do
and
it.
I'm doing that often in collaboration with people who have to get back to me. So it's like a parent, and they know this, and they listen, and they're empathetic after I tell them. It's like, okay, this game got canceled, and you want to know, like, are we having practice? where, what time is the game rescheduled, that's usually 6 to 8 people.
Right.
It's like, what are the travel teams doing? What's men's basketball doing? Did Coach Curley get back to me? Did the other athletic get back to me? That athletic director had to contact their coach. It's just like, people. I mean, I know people's lives are like this.
Right. There isn't a solve for everything. Some things do have to
Yeah,
do that many things.
Rebecca, we don't think is very organized.
I don't think she's very
She
organized.
doesn't
Somebody
have
in
to
her
be.
position would actually have a executive assistant who would be sitting outside her door and
Yeah,
scheduling everything. So, yeah,
yeah. It's
they
pretty.
absolutely they have the leanest office you've ever seen. Right?
They do. I
They have
mean, it
Higgins,
is
her, Keeley. That's who works
even
there.
even though I've said the production values have gone up, there's no way a Premier League team's locker room would look like that. There's
Right.
no way anybody in the whole world could go driving into that parking lot and
Right.
and park. There's no way that practice field would look like that.
The offices they had set up for Rupert were much more realistic. That
Yeah, that
team.
whole they
That
must
was
have.
like a real place. Yeah.
Yeah, they must have got
They must have worked, yeah, went
because he
somewhere
was
on
at like
location.
what was he at Man City or something or Arsenal or I forget where he
He
was.
had a big time name. I forget what it was too. It wasn't
Yeah.
Arsenal, but yeah.
Okay. My last. I've struggled with this, and I overall think I'm wrong. But I know that you have sometimes you've just been like, what Beard is doing is ridiculous. Or the fact that we're not talking the fact that Ted's like not getting a premier salary to coach women is so ridiculous. So I'm with you on related things, and I told you in my case, it was these little girls making the kits, the uniforms, which had a cool element to it. But when I think about it, I love SNL. And I know SNL is not a story. I love Elf, right? Elf is a really great movie.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Um, I had another example. Oh, Megan's favorite movie might be Dumb and Dumber. And if it's not Dumb and Dumber, it's Joe Dirt. So I tolerate ridiculousness in stories that I love. Is something off about Ted Lasso, or is just something strike me weird? And or may, what would you say is my problem, or does the show have a problem? What would you say about that?
I don't think the show has a problem. I don't necessarily want to say you have a problem either. I just think I guess maybe the problem is that the show is realistic about a lot of
Yeah,
things.
good.
And so the things that it's unrealistic about, they draw more of attention to. Whereas Dumb and Dumber, I don't know Joe Dirt, but these things, there's Elf. It's so ridiculous that you have to accept that. You accept everything else around it because the main conceit of the movie is ridiculous, and so you just sit back and enjoy it. So maybe that they have 1 foot in, 1 foot out of realism perhaps bothers you. It didn't bother me at all, actually. When I watched it, I didn't even hardly think about
Yeah,
the whole. I almost missed that that's what they did. To be honest, it seemed unnecessary. I mean, why did you have to bedazzle the uniforms? Just whatever they're wearing, that's fine. It seemed like everybody got clothed. That's the important part. I don't. How do we bedazzle them? We put the numbers on there with bedazzles. I don't know.
yeah,
So it didn't bother me at all. It was a friendly, who cares? It's just a fun way to tie in Phoebe, the socks, Roy doing something for Keeley. So that's how they tied it in. It didn't bother me. I guess it really bothered you, but yeah.
yeah. I mean, I would challenge you to say you're just as bothered, but about different elements,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah, you might be somewhat blind to that,
I accept that.
but
Yeah.
you're acknowledging it. But I do think by the time I was done and thought about it, it does a really cool thing, which is you get this class of 8 to 15 little girls who do something for a professional women's sports team that's new. And so if you go watch the WNBA 4 years ago, I go watch the Fever when I lived in Indiana, and there's only 400 people in Gamebridge, but 60 of them are these little girls. And so that you have women playing a professional sport and these little girls have never seen anything like it. the fact that these little girls make the uniforms, it really accentuates that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and so you like, and I think this
The
is a way.
importance of this of that what they're doing to these little girls
So I'm
is yeah.
emotionally moved when May, the older woman bartender, has her season ticket and she's so excited because she's watched women not be in this role. And when these little girls root for the team, and when these athletes finally get their own locker room, when their whole lives they've been moving around and been second class. So that really does move me emotionally. So it definitely served a purpose like that. So I think I like your suggestion that there's some moments in this show that are great, grounded in realism that happen very authentically, and then there's just this silliness. So it's just part of the show, and it's okay.
Right. I accept it. This is maybe a little bit of off topic, but like seeing a locker room that's made for you is pretty cool. And it
Yeah.
reminds me of when I was a little kid playing softball. To me, one of the greatest parts of playing softball was, oh my gosh, I get these batting gloves. I get to wear these two cool batting gloves. I get this cool um, glove. The glove is cool. The bat, the paraphernalia of the game is pretty cool. And I was always upset because I never had stirrups or pants
Hmm.
at first, right?
Yeah.
When I played softball, we had to play in our blue jeans, Bill. And you were out there playing, you were
You
like a
played
slip.
you played for Winnemac High School in blue
I'm
jeans?
talking about summer softball
Oh,
as a
okay. Yeah, yeah,
child,
yeah.
and you were
Yeah,
playing little league, all kitted up.
for
You
sure.
had
Totally.
stirrups, you had the whole deal,
I can
and I had to
picture it
wear
right
blue
now.
jeans and a stupid T-shirt, and I wanted stirrups so bad. And then when I finally became a senior in high school and got to play softball, and they actually gave me pants, baseball pants, socks, and
Yeah.
stirrups. It was great. So those little things can actually really mean a lot.
Did the Winnemac Warriors have sweatsuits? I feel like you guys, or did you just Jim had the sweatsuit?
No, we bought that for Jim out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
We bought him a sweatsuit. No, but we had warm ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Did you have any golden or memorable lines? I ended up not. I have so
It
much
was
stuff.
really hard to see some lines, I thought.
Okay.
But I did write down some. Um, and I don't know that they're golden lines, but there were moments that made me really laugh, right?
Yep.
So Keely, after Roy asks if she's okay after the shareholder meeting had a lot of uh, abuse kind of towards Keely and the idea of a women's team.
Yep.
And she says, I'm a woman perpetually online, so a bunch of men saying mean things to me is nothing new. So I thought that was
Yeah.
really
That's
a
great.
funny and
Good
true
one.
moment. Keely is somebody who probably is you would identify prior to this as an influencer. And
Yeah.
I'm sure she had people saying, she didn't in real life because she's not real, but in real life, an influencer, sure, they have a lot of positive things saying to them. They have a lot of crap, and they probably have to deal with a lot of sexual stuff from men. So I thought that was a really smart,
That's a
good line.
good one. Yeah. Good one to call attention to.
You want me to just keep going, or do you have some?
I have one. You keep going. I'll give you my last one.
Okay, Ted's son was at the pub after, and May came up to them, and May said the F word basically. And he repeats to his dad, and he says, I can hear the words, I just can't say the words. And I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty funny. Because
Yeah,
I
that's a
assume, not
callback.
being a parent, but I assume you have to be like, well, you can't say it. But yeah, some people do say it.
Remember when he got in trouble for the Public Enemy lyrics?
Right.
And that was
That was part of the lesson.
so
Yeah.
that's the second time we've heard that rule. Yeah.
Well, I missed it the first time, but I thought it was a pretty good rule. And actually, I thought the son was pretty good in this episode. I thought he was a good little actor.
Why do
So
you think the wife was in it so little?
I know I mentioned that later, but we can mention it now. It's like just a flash of her. You don't even see her at all with the son.
Almost
It was
like
weird.
she had a scheduling conflict with this filming of this.
Right, yeah. Or to me, they're tabling it because they had enough storylines for this episode, so they're going to have it in another episode. But they definitely will have it. They have to.
Yeah, right. I only wrote down what's a Susan Boyle. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. That's pretty good. It's the skin tag.
Yeah, is that what British people call skin tags?
Boyle, I get it.
I mean, I watched it 3 times. The last time I watched it was with Megan, and I don't want to kill the mood by hitting pause and writing down golden lines. So that's kind of why I don't have many verbatim. So I have next up memorable important moments. Did I skip anything there for
Well,
you?
I got two more.
Okay, go.
So I laughed at Gemma. I always want to say Gemma. I know I'm stupid, but I laughed at Gemma
Yeah.
responding basically with just these noises when she's leaving the library, the law library. A
Mm.
guy is like going on and on lecturing with his four examples, and she just decides immediately to get up and join the team, basically to leave. And he's like, "Where are you going?" And she's like, "Nah, nah." She doesn't really say, and then leaves. That made me laugh.
That was
And then
funny.
Rebecca Lowe, which I don't know if you recognize Rebecca Lowe, maybe not, but Rebecca Lowe was an announcer
Mm.
along with Jill Scott, and I recognize Jill Scott too. Announcers. Rebecca Lowe is big because she just hosted the World Cup uh, Fox
Mm.
for the United States of America here. She was the host of that World Cup
You're talking about the
along with
people who announced the Richmond
the
Friendly.
studio, yeah, the Richmond Friendly, but the studio, actual real life studio crew with, I'm going to forget the names, the Frenchman, Thierry Henry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the Swedish guy, whatever his name is. She's the host that pulls it all together, Rebecca Lowe. She was on this, right?
I wonder if she'll keep doing the games.
I don't know, but she's a recognizable figure, is what I'm trying to say.
Really drastic reduction of
Pageantry for her.
watching a match. No,
Right.
when in previous seasons we've seen a lot of football, and we saw almost none here. I wonder if we're not going to get much football anymore.
Oh, yeah, it could be. Anyway, she says, a moment so grand it could only be captured by streaming. So that made me laugh. But to be fair, men are being streamed now too. Everything's being streamed. So it wasn't just that women are being streamed
Yeah, there is that WNBA problem
of
of,
every different channel. Yeah.
geez, yeah. So
Yeah. But
tonight
even football is getting like that.
it
It's on
is.
Peacock, it's on Prime, it's on ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I get Fever Liberty. Boy, it's not looking like firing the Liberty coach was good.
Oh, they
They,
fired her?
they fired Brondello, who went to the Tempo. Did she go to the Tempo?
She got fired after the incident?
No, she got fired last year by the
Oh,
Liberty.
but she had an incident with somebody
She
else's
did.
team.
She
Okay.
used the phrase,
Yeah, I forget, but it was racial connotation.
and I actually wouldn't
I
have.
don't think she meant it that way, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think she used the phrase protected species.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Species.
Which
Don't
is
call people
which could
species. Yeah.
easily I could easily it's not a phrase I've ever used,
Right.
but if it was, and of course it wouldn't have come up, but if there were only white women out on the floor in a Watauga game and my leading scorer, the other coach said she's a protected species, I would know what he meant.
Right. Yeah.
He meant like, why doesn't her fouls count?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. So she got suspended, right? Anyway, sidebar, unintended sidebar on the WNBA.
Yeah. Okay. That
Okay.
was all my lines and then some memorable moments.
All right, I'll give you a memorable moment. This show's great at callbacks. I told you that's the second time we heard that parenting rule from Ted to his kid. We weirdly, a couple episodes earlier, Rebecca chose not to give Keeley the report about the financial feasibility of a women's team. And that comes back to really bite Rebecca. She leaves Keeley embarrassed at the shareholders meeting, being grilled about this report that she doesn't even know about. That was memorable to me.
Yeah, I would never hide that report. Why not just be truthful with her about it? Yeah. I don't
It's a
see a
good
problem with
example
that.
of like, this is weird they're doing this. Why are they doing this? And then there was
Right.
a reason, which might come up with Rebecca forgetting all these dates. Sometimes I'm like, I don't get this, but then it comes back and I'm like, okay, that was clever. Also,
Well,
I
it's
think
also like a sitcom rule. It's like obviously you could resolve the whole thing if they just sat down and had a truthful talk about it, but it won't be as funny.
and we
And
have to have a show.
yeah, we have to have a TV show. Yeah.
And then this maybe goes with that. To me, Roy has evolved beyond behaving this way at this meeting.
Right. It's over the top the way he behaves. Like that would not be acceptable.
And they're not the
You
press.
couldn't do that. It wouldn't be acceptable.
They're
Yeah.
fans who've invested in your program.
Right. And you're just cursing and saying three lines. It would be unacceptable. But the sitcom uses we let.
Yeah. So I kind of would rather see Roy grow there. What do you got? Memorable, important moments.
I thought it was pretty funny. or a good choice that they had the Ted, Coach Chilton, Gemma discussion in the library, even though you can be like, well, this isn't good humor. People saying, shh, that's pretty old
That was funny.
school classic, but it was funny and I liked it. So I thought that was a good
What a
choice.
library space.
Yeah, nice library. Yeah.
It was beautiful.
It was very English, I guess, right?
I thought this. Oh, go.
Oh, Coach Chilton having the new players just run side to side at the tryouts just to weed out the people who couldn't play. I thought it was pretty funny. It's like, gosh, that isn't even that far, but it would probably really work because, yeah, who goes to these tryouts? Like, it would never occur to me to go to a tryout. Like
Imagine you sprinting from one side of the field to the other. How would you look?
I could still do it. I think
Yeah.
I could do it. The side to side, you're not asking me to do the length. You're
Right.
asking me a side, which is pretty wide in a soccer field, but I could do it. Now, would I look great? No, but I could do it without these girls are like collapse on the floor.
Yeah, I love toward like Coach Lasso is like, boy, there's a lot of people here. It's going to take a long time to figure out if any of these women can play. And Chilton says, no, it's not. And she sends them on a sprint, and people just start walking
Fading
and
out, yeah.
petering out. And by the time only 3 or 4 of 80 are coming back to the other side, Coach
So
Lasso
you're like,
says,
those are the 4 we have to look at. Yeah.
Coach Lasso goes, oh, I see where you're going with it. So I do that every once in a while. Now I tend to keep some players with great attitudes who've been in the program who don't have a chance to contribute on the court in a game. But I do sometimes say, let's just all run a couple sets of down and backs here so we remember where we're at. Like
Right.
don't if you're starting to get a little saucy about your role, don't forget that you're
Right.
30
Plus, you
yards
could
behind.
flash talent and skills and just be out of shape. You could get in shape, but
That's true.
some people can't
I
get
agree
in
with
shape.
that.
Yeah.
I thought Rebecca's speech, you referenced that Rebecca goes across town and talks to the woman owner or CEO of Pinter and Sons who are going to pull their sponsorship from the women's team. Rebecca gives a pretty inspiring speech to this woman about somebody's got to take a chance on women.
Right. And this woman is played pretty funnily, right?
Yep,
As
she's
a
good.
deadpan, not really going to act emotionally about anything. Had a little joke about the grandson, granddaughter, or whatever. Also, you fund wars. I thought that was pretty good,
Yeah, boy, I started watching, I don't know if it was called, I don't think it was called War Dogs. The guy who's in Top Gun Maverick who plays Rooster's kids, Simon Teller, is that his name? Is that
Oh, Miles Teller.
Miles Teller. So it's Miles Teller and Jonah Hill, and they are arms deal. They become arms dealers. Have you ever heard of that or seen it?
No.
I mean, it's just
Well, I mean, who's getting rich right now, right?
it just lays down the argument for like, okay, you think we have these moral reasons to be in the Middle East? No, we're cashing out on our drone technology.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
how many drones are being produced for the Ukraine?
so
it's
Rebecca
insane.
makes that point to this woman. She's like, for
Right.
God's sake, you fund war. And then the woman says, well, wars are profitable.
Right. Yeah. Which they obviously are. Yeah.
And Ted Lasso certainly takes those shots.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Roy finally figuring out how to support Keely without annoying her by giving her the binder at the end that just says F him. Pretty funny, I thought, because he was kind of saying the wrong thing throughout the episode to support her, basically.
He was. I guess Roy seems like he wants to bring up being a couple, right?
Right. Roy is trying to connect back with Keely.
Don't you think that she acts a moment of hopefulness when Roy comes to Keely about what about Beard and shouldn't Beard and Ted be together on a staff? Don't you think she's like 10 seconds hopeful?
Right. She definitely has hopefulness, especially in the previous episode with the whole locker room thing. Yeah.
So they
for
both
sure.
want to be together and they just aren't together yet.
Right. They're just being annoying about it. Yeah.
Does this feel like Friends, Rachel and what's his face?
Ross and Rachel, which people hated them. I loved them. I think they should always be together. I was a Ross and Rachel truther. So
Are they married now in real life?
yes, I believe. Oh, not in real life. No.
No, I meant are they married to others?
In the show, Oh, in real life, no, neither one are.
They're
They're
single. They could get together in real
well,
life.
she is not single. She's dating some magician or something.
Oh, okay. Okay, so this isn't really this is something you like to make fun of me about. Um, when something goes great, like somebody hits a great shot or Ted throws a bullseye, he says barbecue sauce, and I told you I wanted to integrate that into my life.
Yeah, I don't like it. Maybe it's because barbecue sauce turns my stomach,
Yeah.
so I just don't like it. Yeah.
And then, so something that they do also that I want to integrate into my life, and I did for the first time yesterday, when somebody says something smart and right on, I want to snap my fingers and point at them. So, like, Ted and Chilton is crushing this player for quitting. And Ted says, well, you quit last week. And Beard snaps and points at Ted. And sometimes he snaps and points at Chilton. It's not like it only goes one way. I really like that they do that.
Well, I think that's fine. You can
I
you
can
can
do
put
that.
that you can
So
put that
no
in there.
barbecue sauce, but it's okay.
It's okay
If
to
Izzy
snap and
makes
say
if Izzy makes a good point debating Megan, it's okay for me to snap and point at Izzy.
and give her a little nod. Yeah,
Okay, let's try to do
appreciation.
that, Ann, in the future.
Okay,
Do you have
all
more?
right. Yeah, I have two more. The delivery driver being aficionado of Vanity Fair. I mainly put this in so I could say aficionado,
Oh,
but he knew Graydon Carter. He knew the questionnaire at the end. So I thought those were all good points, and that was pretty funny. She wasn't expecting him to recognize her from Vanity Fair. She was
boy, they
expecting
did
him
it
to.
bad. The company in the episode could not get those uniforms over to the.
Right. I've definitely been involved in some delivery errors through my life in corporate life. And it's a pain. It's a pain to get it on the right course. If it's off course, you
Here,
may never get it
here are
back.
here's what I have to do, one or the other of, when it comes to outfitting the Watauga High School basketball team. I either have to guess who's going to be on my team about September 20th and order stuff so that we have it at the start of the season, or I have to order the stuff after tryouts and get the stuff in January when we've got about 5 weeks left in the season. Those are my choices.
Right. So you have to guess
So
is
I
the
guess,
answer.
I
Yeah.
order 3 extra mediums and I order an extra large. And I wish that I could put people's names on stuff because when you got 15 identical warm-ups, it's kind of hard to know whose is whose, but you can't do it. And then I don't like putting numbers on things because it really is helpful as a coach if the other people are wearing numbers during warm-ups on their back. So there's some quandaries there that are unsolvable.
Well, I feel like I remember in our day, it was like the uniforms were used multiple years,
Yeah,
and they basically had to look at it and hope something fit you.
yeah. Our players get 2 t-shirts, a hoodie, and then sometimes one other thing. So you get two
More than I
t-shirts.
could ever dream of.
Yeah, 2 t-shirts that are yours to keep, a hoodie that's yours to keep. Sometimes we mix up the hoodie and it's some other kind of pullover. So you get that every year, brand new.
The only thing I remember getting is that practice thing that reverses a little tank top, and I think we had to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean it was common even when I was in Indiana recently. I don't know, you might call it a kit. Oh, I guess you would call it a kit. And I would say your kit costs you $150.
Yeah, insane, right?
But now our fundraising is such that,
You can pay for
and
it.
you're always knocking on wood, the kids are going to get all that stuff. We're going to spend 3 nights in Asheville. They won't have to pay for any of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, my last good point. I can't remember this character's name, and I was going to look it up, and I forgot. But an appearance by the person who Keely used to work with at her firm. Remember, she was like the accountant or something, the
Oh, yeah.
CFO.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's come back. I forget what she's doing now.
What's
She's
her
working for-
job, right?
But she's working for Keely Keely still has her own PR firm.
I think
yet
she's
spending
doing-
all her time at work at this work, right? Rebecca set her up
So
with her own PR firm.
Yep.
But yet she's spending all her time at
Maybe
the
that
soccer
PR
place.
firm is gone. Now she's this
Yeah, maybe.
market, whatever they call it.
There was an appearance by that girl, that lady who I think is pretty funny. And she had two good jokes in the stands, one about kind of a sex kink that she had, and another saying when Rebecca is reassuring Keely about the uniforms are fine. And then she says, yeah, but real uniforms would have been more professional. That
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that actress the way
And she
she
was
went
right. I mean, I
deadpan.
think that's
Yeah,
not a
really was a
that's not a
professional.
great look when you're trying to retain your investors.
Yeah, yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Still
Okay,
making me laugh right now.
good. In the what's working great in this episode, I've already said everything but one. I'm nice. They are creating some questions for me that make me want to keep watching. I don't have all the best here, but what happened with Beard and Jane? I'm waiting on that reveal. Are we going to find out? And then like Will Chilton's former teammate and her, are they going to make up? Are they going to get past this? Because this is an area where, again, it bothers me, where Chilton is so nasty to that good player. It's like, what's happening?
Right, I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to have a peak fallout where she's going to say something so horrible, and Jim is going to threaten to quit or going to quit. Ted and Beard will have to cover it
Ted might
up and
actually address it.
address it, and Chilton will admit that she's being too much, and that'll be our arc for that, Bill. That's very predictable, and if that
Okay.
doesn't happen, I'll be shocked,
Yep.
and I'll even give them some applause if it doesn't happen, because
They surprised you.
sometimes we don't need to be on the trope. Yeah. So there's three things I wanted to mention. Danny Rojas's sister, nice little funny arc. I knew, even though right when she's introduced, I knew she wasn't going to be any good, right? That's going to be the joke. But it played out well. And she did have the same kind of enthusiastic manner about her that I would believe that they were brother sister for
Same,
sure.
right?
Second, the actress who's playing the new player with the kid. I've seen that woman before. I was thinking, and then I finally figured it out. She's from the Disney Andor series, which is a pretty good series that I talked about earlier on the podcast.
It was interesting that they had Chilton as the lone woman on staff. She's the one that said, "Don't bring your kid tomorrow."
Right. Well, I think they were all in agreement, though. Don't bring your kid tomorrow. But
I don't know.
but she's not a woman who has a kid,
I think that
Chilton.
kid might show up. And I watch.
She's definitely going to have to bring that kid to practice once, right? That's going to happen.
I have watched multiple. It doesn't even always have to be a women's basketball team, but the examples that come to mind are I've seen players' kids come into the gym with the team. I've seen coaches' little kids coming into the gym with the team, and the kid is taken care of by the team. I mean, even take like Rob Irwin's kid, who was just thrust into practice often, who everyone looked out for, who the cheerleaders watched and played with during the games. So to me, we're probably heading towards this kid being allowed.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was pretty funny. I think probably we even attended our father's practice. I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like I hung around a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny when Lasso opens the bag for him, and then after he leaves, he's like, "Who is this kid?"
Yeah. It was all that. I mean, another one of Megan's strongest reactions was to how cute that little kid is. He opens the bag. He takes a couple of his whatever they are. They're like
Crisps.
Crisps. They look like fries though. The veggie straws. They look like veggie straws to me.
They probably are.
Yeah.
I was just trying to use the British term for chips.
That was a good. I like that part too.
Okay, and the last thing I'd say is Higgins. He's making me laugh more this year. Maybe I'm just identifying with him more. But he had some good little quips, and I liked it when he walked into the office. He was the third interrupter into Becca's office, and he just said something and immediately had to turn around and leave. He has some good quips. He's a funny guy. I like him.
I mean, one of the greatest moments of all time.
The greatest moment of all time
is when it's like episode 2 of season 1 when she's hired Ted to ruin the franchise, and they're meeting for lunch, and Ted and Higgins says, "Caesar you later."
He says what?
Caesar, as in Caesar salad.
Oh, okay.
Caesar you later. And Ted comes running back and in. I think the story is that Ted really hits his head on the door by accident, but they left it in, and then he points at him. And so I love that moment. He's got this tick where he like grossly clears his throat when he has an attack of nerves, and that's working great.
Boy, I don't know that I've noticed that.
He gacks. He like goes, You've never noticed that?
I don't think I have.
He's probably done it 25 times.
It just must seem very natural to me.
Yeah. Um, I don't think I've said everything I have to say about not working. Do you have anything that's not working? By the way, Peter Elbow, funny name,
Peter
prominent
Elbow.
prominent voice in writing studies. His thing about responding to stories in writing was what's working, what's not working. So I sort of borrowed that for this. And what's
Okay.
not working.
I think we mentioned it all. I do want to mention, I don't think Penter and Sons would pull their sponsorship just because of one shareholder meeting. That seemed a little extreme to me, but it had a nice scene about it. So I think we mentioned everything else. So I don't really have anything to add.
All right. And we always go long, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
We went
Got a lot to say
over,
about Ted.
we
But
went
we
over
talked
it.
about Office so much.
Yeah. We were into the
I don't know
offices.
why. Yeah.
I like it. That's what I hope people like. Again, I want to hear back from people. There's been more people reaching out in a variety of ways, and I've been asking them uh, what parts they gravitate toward, what parts they don't. So I ask you to list some podcasts that you listen to regularly, and I ask you about why you listen to them, and I'm trying to reflect on the direction of this podcast because I thought we had some good momentum going. Now I'm not sure. We might be losing it a little. So I wonder what you said about podcasts.
Okay. Well, you asked me to list the podcast. Do you want me to read all those? Do I have too many?
How many do you have?
4.
That's what I have. Do one.
Okay. My first podcast I listen to regularly is the Doughboys. I spelled it wrong. I put the Doug Boys, but it's actually the Doughboys. Two guys here that live here in LA, and they review fast food. But
Oh,
really, it's a comedy podcast. They're two comedic people. One's an actor, one's more of a writer. They make me laugh out loud. I really enjoy them. Um, they can be pretty crude, but if you don't mind crude, I always laugh at the crude stuff. They also seem like two really good guys. I actually pay for this. 3 of these I pay for, Bill, on
wow.
Patreon. I pay $5 for this so I can get an extra episode a week.
Five a month?
$5 a month. I get an episode in the beginning of the week, and I get an episode I think on Thursday, which is the one that's like free for everybody.
And
So I really like it.
you don't care about the food.
I care very little about the food because, as you know, I have a very limited food palate. I do like fast food. So, really, actually, it's not just fast food. They talk about chain. It has to be a chain. Some
So
kind of
it's
chain.
those two and they make you laugh, and that's the main reason you listen to it.
Right. And they have guests. Sometimes the guest kind of drags it down. Sometimes the guests elevate it. So, there you go.
Yeah. They
Number
always
one.
have a guest.
Yes, they almost always.
Yeah, when you invite the guest podcasts are much more vulnerable to being bad.
Right. If the guest can really bring them down. Now, the extra episode they have at the beginning of the week, sometimes they have a guest, sometimes it's just them. They also have like a producer and a sound editor who are kind of part of it too, who are good, 2 women.
Yeah.
So that's fun.
And I will listen to the Doughboys.
You should. I laugh.
So
If you don't like it, our humor is not the same. That's all I can say.
I know we both listen to Bill Simmons, and so we'll see if you have any of the reasons that I have. So I think number one is just the chemistry between Bill and the people he's often on the show with. So he's with cousin Sal, who I think is his real cousin, right?
I don't think so. I think he met him at the Jimmy Kimmel show.
So Sal's,
I think Sal is related to Jimmy Kimmel, or he grew up with Jimmy Kimmel, and then
but
they
Bill
all
isn't.
met like in the writers' room, right? Because did
Yeah,
Bill Simmons write for Jimmy Kimmel? He didn't seem
that's right.
that funny to me, but I
He
guess he
did.
did.
Yeah. So it's just the chemistry between those two. Chris Ryan from Philadelphia, I love. He's on the rewatchables more. Van Lathan, who used to work for TMZ, who's sort of famous for standing up to Kanye in the TMZ studios. And I even read Van Lathan's book, which I thought was hilarious. So agreeing with you, the number one, even though I don't think they think of themselves this way, the number one reason I listen to them is because I laughed with them.
Right. You didn't mention my 2 favorites, which are the guy who I suddenly lost. Well, I do like Cousin Sal. You did mention him.
Yep.
Cousin Sal, and then the guy who he went to college with. What's his name? The big gambler who got sick who drank too
Oh,
much.
Joe House, of course.
Yeah, I like Joe House
Joe House
best.
should have been on there.
Yeah, to
Right.
me, Joe House is the best. So
So
yeah, I agree with you. Like
you,
sometimes they'll have a guest, and I'll be like, I can't listen to this.
right,
Like when he
same.
talks to that guy who thinks he's like a Chuck, who's like the writer. I don't want to hear this. What is that guy's name?
Chuck Klosterman,
Yes, I find
he's
that annoying
interesting because
sometimes.
I really like some of his essays. I can't stand listening to him because when he writes, he gets his thoughts together and he gets them on paper and he makes them better and they're excellent. When he's talking, it's so rambling and
Also, Bill Simmons has a new guy that just got fired from ESPN or
yeah.
something. I don't like him. I hope
Hmm.
he's not a regular. It seems like he's going to be. And I don't like it when he talks to Doc Rivers. I don't want to hear Doc Rivers talk.
Oh, I
So
like Doc.
yeah, those are there's exceptions, but I still listen to it usually. So yeah, I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. And honestly, though, the reason is because I like sports and it keeps me up to date. So I listen to like three
Yeah.
NBA podcasts.
So I can't believe you do that. I don't do that. So the other thing I would say is that Bill and his collaborators, I call them his peeps in my notes, they're really clever with what they come up to talk about. Like he will suddenly, in the middle of a rewatchables, go off to his top five movie beheadings, and then he'll just list the five most incredible times that people were beheaded in a movie. And I just don't get that sort of thing from anyone. It's like, I
Right.
can't believe you can rattle that off.
I just listened to the podcast last week. What about the top 20 sports for kids? I was like, why am I even listening to this? I don't even care. But it was enjoyable. So yeah, there's something enjoyable despite the
Yeah,
topic.
that's a really good
Yeah.
example of a clever topic that I easily could have done but didn't think of. And I think he's leaning a little more into a lot of what he said was ignorant and ridiculous. Meaning he's obviously not set at a lot of travel basketball tournaments, and
Right.
they're speculating why there's a lot of fighting at travel basketball tournaments, and they obviously have no idea what they're talking about. But it's perfect content to rile people up and made them write it. So
Right. And
people
we're
are
talking
writing.
about like such an East Coast sport like lacrosse. It's like nobody plays lacrosse. What are you talking about? Yeah. In the rest of the country.
And you don't have a chance to talk about what a sport's like if you haven't been knee deep in it.
Right. Yeah.
Like you're not going to be able to tell us what travel baseball, I mean, maybe baseball.
He really doesn't know what figure skating's like. Right. Yeah.
No, right. I
Right.
think craziness. Yep. All right,
Yeah.
give me another one you listen
But
to.
he admits it, yeah. So the last two I also pay for, and I believe I paid $5 for all of these. So this one is L is for losers. I almost pay for this because I want to help these women because they don't have jobs, and this is regular
Nice.
jobs, and this is how
Sympathy.
they live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not that big or popular, but they do make me laugh. I feel like they're my friends, and they probably just live like 2 miles down. And if I ran into them, I would still be older than them, so I guess it really wouldn't work. But I feel like they're two
Are there any
friends.
free episodes?
No,
Okay, so I won't even write them
you
down
can't
because
even you
I
can't even
know I'm
listen to
not
it.
paying for Ella's for losers.
Right, you're not. It's two women in their 40s. One is sometimes an actress. They met in improv. One is a former writer for BuzzFeed, so she has like a journalism degree, but she got laid off recently from BuzzFeed because I'm sure nobody works for BuzzFeed anymore. Um, so anyway, they have good chemistry. They talk about their lives. I pay for this, even though they talk about their lives, talk about the news, and then they talk for about an hour reviewing recaps on reality TV shows I don't even watch, like the Housewives of New York. I don't watch any of that, but I listen to them because they make me laugh
Are they
and I
ta
enjoy it.
they're almost always talking about the Housewives of New York?
Any of the Housewives shows. The first part is our life, news. Then let's talk about real lives. Let's talk about Summer House. Let's talk about these reality shows that I do not watch.
Yeah. So
Um,
that brings me to, I mean, my next one was the Rewatchables, which is another Ringer podcast. Um, and it's one of the great things is the really interesting categories they have, like needle drop, which is use of music, best shot. I mean, they have interesting categories, but the thing, it doesn't matter if I saw the movie. A lot of times the podcast takes me into watching the movie. Like I hadn't seen Sicario and I hadn't seen Heat, and I watched those movies because of their passion for them. So in that sense, maybe it doesn't, but they also aren't talking about Heat seven times in a row. So for example, and our numbers are about 200% down in August, which could be August. People are on vacation. People don't, people are out of their rhythms, and maybe that's it. But I think maybe it's not the best that we go 10 weeks in a row, even though really we talked about offices for 20 minutes to open. I'm not sure it's in our best interest for Ted Lasso to even be in the title for 10 weeks in a row.
Right. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Because they're like, I don't like Ted Lasso. Why would I listen to this?
Even
Right.
though if they would listen to it, they might.
Right.
And for example, sort of conversely, and this is, I think, strange, our most listened to podcast of 2026 is The Rooster Worth Watching, which
Was it really?
you
Oh,
haven't thought
yeah.
about that for 10 seconds after. But you and
Sure
I
have
watched like
not.
2 episodes of HBO's The Rooster, and that's the most listened to podcast of the year.
Right. That seems crazy.
So
Yeah.
it's more like it's probably better. I think a one-off with a movie is fine. And I think like did Ted Lasso land the plane is, at the end of the last episode, or we watched the first. I think those are better than 10 in the row. So you tend to agree.
Yeah. I tend to agree. That's
Okay,
right.
keep going on your podcast.
Okay. The last podcast, I basically I listen to a lot more podcasts than this because, as you know, I sit at work and listen to podcasts while I'm working. So that's a
Yeah.
lot of content you need. And a lot of time I'm like, I don't have any more content. I
Let
need
me
more.
interrupt you and say, you said we're not good at being rich,
Huh?
correct? You
Oh,
said
we're not good at getting a bunch of
we
money.
feel
Yeah.
like we're hardworking, smart,
Right.
somewhat insightful, responsible, dependable humans. Can we not find, and you're listening to all these podcasts at work, you can't find a good one to listen to. Doesn't it seem like we're capable of finding a decent sized audience for our podcast?
Yes. I don't know, but I don't even know what to do. Yeah.
Like, what, based on what you've said, are we those things? Are we missing those things? We're not quite as clever. We're funny,
Right.
but
We're
not,
not quite as funny. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
We
And
have
you
a,
have to have some kind of, because one of the podcasts I mentioned, it's not popular, right? So
hmm.
even though I think it's good,
Doughboys is popular, not popular.
Doughboys is popular. They make a good living, I think.
Like I
If it,
listen, I
Alice for
don't,
Losers is not popular.
I laugh at Theo Von clips, right? And you know who Theo
Right.
Von is?
I do.
So I'll
Yeah.
laugh at a Theo Von clip. He's so much better in 30-second increments than 90 minutes. He's terrible in 90 minutes.
Right. I
Like
see.
he wanders around, he's unorganized, he doesn't ask good follow-up questions. He repeats himself over and over and over because he doesn't know what he's going to say next. So he just keeps saying it. But he's good. So for example, um, if we would cut together these podcast recommendations and put them on TikTok or link to them or put the screenshot of them, but we don't have that staff.
Right. We don't have that
I
staff. These are all
can't, I'm
professional.
already
Yeah.
beyond my capacity on my
Yeah. I don't do
podcast work.
anything. Yeah. For the podcast. So,
You couldn't
yeah.
even host it once when I was on the road and put the post
No.
out.
Well, it's what has to happen, Bill, is you have to like spend an hour and teach me everything. I
I
mean,
know.
I guess I'll be there with you guys.
That's
It'll just be
right.
the three of us when we're not visiting mom. So
Yeah.
perhaps we could have some lessons then. I don't know.
Yep.
Um,
Ooh.
oh,
Oh no, we can't send you home with mom's computer because you'll be flying.
right. Yeah.
I have to pack it up and ship it. Okay. I interrupted you in the middle of your podcast there.
Okay. My last podcast is called Fluently Forward. I also pay for this. I also I think one is free and one, it's just like the Doughboy. So I get an early one that's a little shorter in topic. So this is just a woman who lives in Denver. She's younger than me. I'm going to guess she's probably 30, maybe 35. She's just into some crazy stuff, but with intelligence, I think. She has a lot of gossip, a lot of pop culture, a lot of music. Like she's way too much into like, I wouldn't call her a Swiftie, but like, who's that other person? Olivia.
Rodrigo.
Yes, like she just thinks she's brilliant, and it's like, okay, I've listened to a whole hour on that, on her breaking down the album.
What's this called?
Fluently Forward.
How old is this woman?
I'm guessing she's 30, 35.
Yeah.
She's younger than me, but she's not in her 40s. There's no way she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
She also will get a little bit too conspiracy sometimes. I'm like, come on, about aliens and stuff. Like she'd gone to an alien convention, and it's like, okay, I don't believe in this crap. But it's interesting to hear. And she'll do an hour on Epstein. She'll do an hour on MR Ultra MK or whatever, the whole CIA brainwashing thing.
Yep.
So I just find it interesting stuff. And she seems like an intelligent person to me, even though she maybe goes too far on some conspiracies. So I think at least she has some of that smartness about her, and she's a good talker. So,
Yep.
and she's often alone. Sometimes she'll have guests, but she's often just talking for like an hour.
Wow. That's something. I've done a couple of those. It's like Ryan Russillo's a guy, for example. I can't listen to him do a solo pod. I don't, when Bill Simmons will go 20 minutes to open, usually I don't like it.
Right. Yeah. You usually have some back and forth.
And I do it out of necessity when you're unavailable.
Right. Yeah. So I don't mind it when she's by herself. Sometimes I'm annoyed if there's a guest. It's like, I got to hear the stupid guest.
Okay. My other two, which are different. So Amy Poehler, Good Hang.
I'll watch a lot of clips of that.
That could really fall into the guest dragging it down. And I have heard a couple where I'm like, oh, this is bad. When she's with an SNL person, it's almost always great. Who's married to Zendaya? Do you know?
Holland, you thought he was bad?
No. So I thought
him.
I was not interested. I don't care about Tom Holland.
Right.
I don't care to hear him speak one sentence. But Izzy wanted to listen to that one, and he was great. He was hilarious.
I've heard some clips.
So I need to give people a chance.
He also seems like a nice young man.
So on Good Hang, I need to give those people a chance. And then Anne Lamott is one of my favorite writers. You probably haven't heard of her.
I feel like the name rings a bell.
She was great on Good Hang. And
I wonder if that's her actual last name.
Lamont?
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it is. No, I think it's her real last name. Okay. She probably wrote what I would consider the most famous essay about writing, which is called Shitty First Drafts.
Okay. Yeah, I don't read a lot of essays on writing.
Students love it because it says shitty, and they're like, oh, great.
Shitty.
Korg is allowing me to read this thing that says shitty in it. I want to read it. High school kids love that, of course.
Right.
And then finally, I've been listening more and more to This American Life. How would you even describe that?
I've heard it before.
It's like,
I don't like it, but yeah.
So it's like slice of life. So I have a short documentary on a guy named Christopher Mello who had this really quirky garden in Asheville. And I did a little documentary about our dad called The Mushroom Hunter. And to me, This American Life is like that. We're going to pop in here to this used car lot, and we're going to meet 4 people, and they're going to tell us how they sell cars. Or we're going to pop into this casino in Indiana, and we're going to show you how they're really preying on people who have gambling problems. So I like that show. It's just like audio documentary style.
Right. The other genre, I do listen to some murder podcasts too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
true crime. Yeah, I just didn't write them down because they're free. But
so I want you to take me through your 4 in 20 seconds or less and give me a quick phrase on why you like that one. Go.
Okay. Doughboys, funny. Sports podcast, informative. Good chemistry. Ellis for losers. Chemistry, a little bit of laughter too. Actually, I do find them pretty funny. And they make me feel like I'm part of their group. I would like to go out drinking with them if they invite me. Fluently forward. I like hearing all these far out things she talks about sometimes. And I love gossip. I do like gossip and pop culture. I like blind item, stuff like that.
I do think the number one thing I'm looking for my podcast is I'd love to be sitting at the table with them.
Right.
Yeah. Ask me what I think on that category.
Right.
Guess the lines with Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal is brilliant. I could coach them up for 30 seconds. Sal's tried to coach him up. Bill's not very coachable. If he would be clear, Houston at Jacksonville, and he would have a 2-second pause so that we listeners could yell our line out before Bill says his and Sal says his, and then we could see if we beat them. That would raise the level of that section of the podcast by 20%. And Sal has tried to tell him a couple times, and Bill never listens, and Bill never changes. He often screws up where it is. Sometimes he forgets to say where it is. He mixes up if the home team's first or second, so he screws that up for us.
Right. I guess I agree with you. It would work better if people could guess and stuff, but I would never guess. It would never even, I don't think I guess when I do it. Sometimes I say, wow, that doesn't seem right. That's the most.
So
Yeah.
what have we, it's like, what have we said that we don't have that gimmick, for example? Right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. I do think that reading things, hitting people with a quote from what we read that teaches them something or makes them laugh or makes them say, I can't believe it, or is provocative, and following that up with a question like, what are you looking for in an office? What year do you think you're going to retire? I think we were falling into a gimmick that was working pretty well.
Right. And then we had to go Ted Lasso.
And if we want to talk about the Super Bowl ads, it's really easy for us to read 2 articles about Super Bowl ads, watch the Super Bowl, and then do it. If we want to pop in and talk about the WNBA, let's read this article on Sophie Cunningham, and now we're talking about it.
Right.
Okay, sounds like we're on the same page there.
I think so.
Okay, so I think, and then I am changing this on you. I am going to tell you about a small problem. It's so small that we could fix it ourselves, but I'm going to say it anyway. If we don't have 3 more sales, you know how you've recommended books and said put the link in? I've never done it because I just don't. It's like I'm already 4 hours into this today. I don't want to add the links. If we don't have 3 more affiliate sales in the next 90 days, we lose our Amazon affiliate status. We have to have 3 more. It's not
Wow.
ready.
So could you add 3 links of things I am going to buy, and then I'll act
Yes,
like I'm.
that's right. So, but I do, and that goes with what I'm going to say next.
Put in some Aloha protein bars, my new protein bar kick that I'm on.
Great. Send me that.
Aloha, like Hawaii. I prefer the cookies and cream or the peanut butter cup.
I'm going to follow up on that, and we're going to put that. We're going to put that on this episode. I am not going to publish this episode until I get some stuff like
For our
that.
listeners, that is my fave protein bar right now.
Right. I think we can do better on that.
Okay.
So, for example, I've told you before, my novel, Love on the Big Screen, is available for 99 cents as a Kindle book.
Right.
You could just pop on there and buy one. Anyone listening, just buy the 99-cent Kindle book and don't read it. I'll get to click on my thing and see that I had 6 sales this month instead of 5. And I'm making, I think, 30 cents a book. So,
okay. Yeah. I mean, $1, people. Yeah.
Just go on there and buy Love on the Big Screen on Amazon. And then we get to keep our affiliate status. So even though I've said all that I've said, Anne, here's what I want to try for next week. And you can coach me up on this. Here's my idea, but I think part of this is going to be hard for you. 5 books that you recommend. 5 books that you recommend.
In my whole life.
Whole life. Here's a book I think some of you might like. My thing to do would be give you a quote from the book that's somehow provocative or discussion worthy. And that's easy for me because I buy all my books. I buy them on Amazon, on Kindle. I highlight quotes. I have access to every book I've ever read on Kindle in my notes. You're going to have trouble coming up with quotes from your books.
Well, I do have some books, not very many. I used to have a lot more books, of course. But when I moved here to California, I got rid of most of them.
You check your books out from the library.
Digitally, yeah. And but I have some real life books behind me, and it's because they're my favorite books of all time. So actually, I think I could use them. Yeah.
Great. So you do that, and then if you found yourself wanting to tell us about a true crime book you read, you could.
Yeah, I have several of those. Yeah.
You could instead say, "I bet you didn't know," and then you could just teach us about the book, even though you weren't quoting it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So next time,
5 books.
5 books you recommend. I'm going to do a quote for each. You give us a little nugget that just jolts us with wisdom or laughter or, wow, I didn't know that. Now I know it.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get any laughter.
I'm going to get my act together and get the affiliate links on, and maybe 3 people will go from our recommendations to our books.
Yeah, sounds great. Like a
Okay,
plan.
so you're going to send me, I'm going to ask for your favorite Aloha protein. By the way, Zoom will be sending me a link with reminders to this afterwards.
Oh,
You
handy. Yeah.
know, and then also I need a picture of your office. Thing is,
Right. No, I'm going to send you pictures not of my office, of
oh,
offices
that's
from
right,
my
from the
website.
website.
Yes.
Okay, good.
My office would not be a good picture.
No, all right, good. All right, Ann, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye bye.
Smart takes the shot, and the Hoosiers with 3 seconds. Go ahead.
But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
And a basket case. A princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question?
I love you guys.